If I praised you like the angels until the end of time, it's not enough.
Women Radio 91.7.
محمد نبينا.
Living a life that depicts the teachings of Islam is the dream of every Muslim. Everyday Muslim, Saturdays 11 a.m. on Women Radio 91.7 is in collaboration with Muslim Public Affairs Center, NPAC. Everyday Muslim will address the misconceptions on Islam, foster a peaceful coexistence, and guide the everyday Muslim on the journey in Islam. Everyday Muslim, Saturdays 11 a.m. on Women Radio 91.7. Simplified understanding of the deen.
هدينا من مكة حبيبي نور سطع.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Our listeners at home, my name is Abdul Hakim Qasim, and I welcome you to another edition of Everyday Muslim Show on Women Radio 91.7 FM. Today is Saturday, December 20, 2025, corresponding to the 29th day of Jumada Thani, 1447 AH. It's the last Saturday of the 6th month of the Hijrah 1447 AH. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the gift of life and the gift of good health. We're just about 60 days to Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spare our lives till then and beyond. On this program, Everyday Muslim, we try to address misconceptions about Islam, foster peaceful coexistence within the society, and guide everyday Muslim on their journey in Islam. This program is made possible, is brought to you by the Muslim Public Affairs Center, MPAC, in partnership with the management of Women Radio 91.7 FM. Today, we want to bring to the front burner the issue of Palestine, and we'll be discussing voices from the flotilla, solidarity, activism, and the fight for justice in Palestine. Again, voices from the flotilla, solidarity, activism, and the fight for justice in Palestine. And our guest is Dr. Fatima Hendricks. She is a South African, and she is here. She would be taking us through that. Now, this is just to let you know that this program is streaming live on YouTube via the Women Radio page. Search Women Radio on YouTube, click on the page to join and view the studio live. Later on the program, we'll open our phone lines for you to call in and share your thoughts. The program again is brought to you, is Everyday Muslim, is brought to you by the Muslim Public Affairs Center in partnership with Women Radio 91.7 FM. We're just using this opportunity to also seek your sponsorship and advert placement to sustain the program. We look up to you for your support and assistance. All right, as a form of introduction, Dr. Fatima Hendricks is actually joining us virtually now, and before the program ends, I'm sure she'll join us in the studio. We are honored to have you with us today. At a time when the world is confronted with clear moral crisis, your voice has remained consistent, courageous, and unyielding in defense of a people with whose humanity has been systematically denied. For a lot of people that know actually about the issue of Palestine, you know quite well that these people have been dehumanized, and for that reason, that has provided a justification for the ongoing genocide of the Palestinians on their land. Across the world, individuals and institutions of conscience continue to push back against a narrative designed to obscure oppression. Here in Nigeria, the Muslim Public Affairs Center, MPAC, has maintained its commitment to that moral responsibility. In keeping with our mandate to awaken public awareness, we undertook national advocacy through a major newspaper campaign, deployed 4 giant billboards across Abuja and Lagos to amplify the truth about Palestine. And in 2024, we led the Nigeria for Gaza campaign, which was a collective call for justice and accountability. These efforts are part of a broader global moral effort, one strengthened by activists like you who continue to bring clarity and testimony from the front line. So with that in mind, let me begin with this, Dr. Fatima. MPAC has consistently positioned itself as a conscience-driven voice for the oppressed. From our national advocacy in newspapers to deploying giant billboards in Abuja and Lagos and leading the 2024 Nigeria for Gaza campaign, we have sought to awaken public moral consciousness. So in your view, how important are such civil actions in countering global silence and reclaiming the narrative on Palestine? Dr. Fatima, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is so wonderful to be here with you all. I hope that you can hear me. I am on the road. I'm trying to get to the studio.
Yeah, okay.
Inshallah khair. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes, yeah, I'm able to hear you now.
Yes. Okay. MashaAllah. So, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa
All of
rahmatullahi wa
the
barakatuh.
listeners and to beautiful people of Nigeria. Yeah, I think that's a really good question. And I want to start out by maybe just starting with gratitude to Impact and to the organizations here in Nigeria that have been doing incredible work on raising the voice of the Palestinian struggle. And this is against the backdrop of complicity by media houses by and large across the world and by many governments who continue to support, aid, and abet the genocide that is happening. So, what we've seen around the world is that it's up to ordinary people to civil society to mobilize around the truth of the illegal and immoral siege of Gaza, the occupation that has been people mobilizing on in institutions, in academic boycotts, when we see students mobilizing in sit-ins on campuses. This is really a sign of living up to a moral conscience as people of a conscience around the world, saying that this is not in our name and that we have to fight the injustice that is happening. This fight happens against great power that is being wielded and great funding. We know the amount of money that's been spent by the Zionist
Yes.
Israel's media, Hasbara.
Mhm.
And so it's up to us as ordinary people and civil society to counter that in every way we can.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just like you said, in fact, the Israeli government has actually voted over $200 million for 2026, as part of, the image laundering activities for the Zionist state of Israel. So that confirms the fact that we are actually facing something very, very serious, something, really the powers of the world, let me put it that way. So I can understand. All right. So as someone who joined the flotilla and has witnessed the cost of speaking truth in hostile environment, I know what a lot of activists actually faced with such attempts. So what struck you the most about how ordinary people around the world, Africa included, respond to Palestine when given the right information, visibility, and the appropriate moral framing? How exactly do people, respond to issues of Palestine? It seems you're muted, actually.
Sorry, I really didn't get the question, so I'm so sorry to have to ask you to repeat that.
All right. I was saying that your experience as someone. Can you
I
hear
am
me
so
now?
sorry, I didn't get the question.
All right. So I'll take that again, actually.
So I would ask you to please repeat that.
Yes, yes. So can you hear me now? All right, good. So I was saying that as someone who experienced, the
Yes.
flotilla, and
Yes.
you understood the cost of speaking, truth to power, faced with, hostilities for trying to even stand up to speak up for Palestine. So I'm trying to ask that. What exactly would you say struck you the most about how ordinary people around the world, including in Africa, respond to issues that have to do with Palestine?
I think it really resonates with people around the globe who have been colonized, because this issue of Palestine is a settler colonial issue. It is, and it connects the struggles of people peoples around the world who are by and large amongst the global majority, who have been minoritized by the so-called West. So even if we look at the map of people of the country that are opposing and have opposed the Security Council votes, and over time, it's really been countries that have a history of solutions.
We're really having some technical hitches there.
And that is why there was such passion to participate in the Global Samud Flotilla from everyone. There were over 44 countries. Many of the people that participated were ordinary citizens from around the globe. So we understand as people of conscience what oppression is. We understand that what is happening in Palestine is settler colonialism. It is the extraction of resources. It is the stealing of land. It is the killing of people, of the indigenous people.
The
And
natives.
we've seen this play out before, whether it's in the United States,
Absolutely.
in
Australia.
or in in other countries in the West where indigenous peoples have been wiped out.
All right, thank you very much. I know quite well, talking about the fact that the issue of Palestine goes beyond just probably religion, as some people try to misconstrue it to be. It's more of a colonial, a settler colonial project, as you have put it. And I know quite well the experience of, the Red Indians in America, the Aborigines in, Australia, and all these, all the, indigenous people who have actually been turned into minorities on their land, their rights taken away. So I can understand. Now, because I want to also probably take a look, because we're Africans. Now, South Africa's history offers a clear mirror for understanding state-engineered oppression, actually. So based on your country's experience with apartheid, what parallels do you see in Palestine today that Africans, and including Nigerians, must refuse to ignore?
The idea of domination of a superior race, and viewing that Zionism is racism is a very important concept for us to bear in mind in crystal clarity, because in South Africa, the idea of what fueled apartheid was racism. It was racialized segregation. It was the establishment of land. That right includes the killing of people, the maiming of people, the extraction of its resources. And so we need to fight these kinds of white supremacy, racist ideologies wherever we find them, whether that is in Nigeria in its extraction of resources and the narratives of the Western powers creating division and in its attempt to further extract resources and steal the resources away from the peoples. So we know too well that all of these struggles are connected in ways that the same kind of rationale, toxic rationale, has been used Um, Different places, different times, but the same toxicity.
Thank you very much. Because I know for a lot of people who might be wondering, what are we actually bringing some of these, perspectives to the issue of Palestine? If you understand the fact that Gaza sits on a large reserve of crude oil, and you also understand the fact that the issue of Palestine, beyond just these resources, will also have, like you said, racism, serious issues of racism. The fact that some Palestinians, even as natives, are denied access to some resources, even including roads. Some roads are impassable by Palestinians. You can't pass some roads, you can't attend some schools, you can't live in some communities. You are fenced off, and so many of these discriminations on racial basis, that if you are not a Jew, then you're a goyim. That's the term they use. So yeah, you will say they are Gentiles, but that's even more respected when you say the goyim really captures it, and for that reason you are denied access to so many things. You're even denied access to actually own properties on your own land. Imagine, as natives. So I can understand all this. Now, the issue of flotilla, let me engage you further on this issue of flotilla, because it's a matter that is often misrepresented and even distorted by those powerful actors who fear what it symbolizes. So from your direct engagement, what essential truths about these missions must be clarified for the global public, including Nigerians who followed MPAC's Nigeria for Gaza campaign? There are a lot of issues that people don't understand about this flotilla. What is it that these people are doing? Some even believe probably it's just social media stunts and popularity contests or something like that. So what exactly is the flotilla about, and why was it necessary to embark on such an arduous torturous journey that even risked your lives? So why did you people embark on that journey, and what exactly does a flotilla, what exactly does it symbolize?
So that's an excellent question. The flotilla is made up of several boats.
Really?
And boats have been sailing since 2008 because there is a siege of Gaza by land, by sea, and by air.
Since 2007.
So 2008 was the first flotilla. So even to the extent that food is restricted, and Palestinian people in Gaza have a calorie restricted diet. And then came the genocide, right? So boats have been trying to sail since 2008. We were the 38th flotilla, right? Which means that, we were the 38th, but it was the global effort, and we were the largest. We were trying to take food and
We're having some technical
medication and baby formula to Gaza, because the genocide 2 years, and we've seen the forced starvation. Professional was part of this broader team of over 500 humanitarians that got onto the boats. And we were over about 50 boats that eventually left. And on the flotilla. Nations and persuasions, and people united in order to do this. And flotillas continued after that. There was the 39th.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
All
Thank
right.
you. Sorry, I lost connection for a bit.
Okay, all right. So I would probably just like you to summarize that point about the essence of the flotilla because we had some technical hitches along the line. Yes.
Oh, I see. I see. So the flotilla was there to take food to Gaza and humanitarian supplies and medication and baby formula
Formulas.
because the genocide has by design starved people and killed people and disabled people such that the healthcare system has been decimated.
Yes.
And so this was the 38th flotilla. And flotilla sailed after that in 39, and the 40th. Flotillas have been sailing since 2008 and continue to sail next year again. We were about 500 activists, humanitarians, professionals, ordinary lay people from 44 countries. And we all united just in the one belief that people need to eat medication.
Well, I say having some technical hitches. We'll go on a short break when we return.
Needs
Program.
to enter Gaza.
Okay.
And that
All right. Thank you very much. I know quite for a lot of people who might not understand what the Gazans have actually experienced. They experienced extreme hunger, famine, forced starvation. Now, the hospitals, over 36 hospitals in Gaza were destroyed. Now, the water salination plants were destroyed, no power supply, nothing, And unfortunately, even in war, the international convention is that basic supplies must be allowed to the displaced. But unfortunately, in the case of Gaza, food was not allowed in, basic medications, baby formulas were not allowed in. So people were starving and things like that. So that is the essence of the flotilla, just to ensure. But then, if I may ask, probably before we go on a short break, that has the flotilla been able to achieve its intended purpose? Because I'm trying to imagine that for every flotilla that attempted, to get to Gaza, none was allowed to get in. So the question then is, why are the activists using the same strategy when the result remains the same, that Israel would always blockade, would always block and intercept this flotilla and would not allow them to get into Palestine? So why have we continued probably to use the same methods, or probably why are we not thinking of other avenues, or probably getting the support of some of these powerful leaders to say probably that would be like a kind of military escort or something like that? So why are we still using the same method?
It's a very interesting question because the people have had to sail because the governments have failed us. I mean, we saw what happened when we were on this flotilla. We had countries who sent their naval vessels, and then when we got close, much closer to 150 nautical miles, they turned around. And so we see that governments are unwilling and they are complicit in with this genocide and the occupation, and therefore people have had to do this. And this initiative of the flotilla is boats have reached there before. There were boats. There were about 5 boats that previously reached there. And we know that in 2010, about 10 activists were killed on board
Yes.
the Mavi Marmara
From
murdered
Turkey.
by
Yeah.
Israel occupation forces. So we see that in this the kind of initiatives that the flotilla is taking is a strategy of creating pressure on the Israeli government and on the world governments to say that you are not doing anything. We, the people, will take it in our own hands and we will follow the law, because people think that what we did on the flotilla was illegal. It was 100% legal.
Yes.
It
yes.
was according to ICJ measures, humanitarian law allows for it, maritime law allows for it. We were absolutely 100% legal. And it also followed on the back of the global march to Gaza. Remember, in the middle of the year, there was also an initiative to march with over 4,000 activists from
Yes.
all over the world to the Rafah border
Yes.
to break the land siege. And there's also there are many initiatives underway. And we also need to bear in mind that this global Samud flotilla has accomplished a lot in terms of global galvanization
Yes.
of awareness. People that had never been, aware, educated, empathetic to the Palestinian struggle, turned in their support towards understanding what occupation is, what the genocide is, what ethnic cleansing is, because it was so jarring for them that ordinary people who had never ever sailed before got onto boats to sail. I mean, I myself have never been on a boat. I sailed for 17 days.
Allah Akbar.
17 days.
Allah
I mean,
Akbar.
I've never been on a big sailing trip. I've been, on a little short trip, but 17 days on a working boat. It's not like you're getting on a cruise ship or something. It's a working boat. We cook for ourselves, we clean ourselves, we sail ourselves, we do everything ourselves. So that was 17 days, and then to be abducted. So the reason that we continue to do this is because what we are doing is legal, and what the Israeli Zionist regime is doing is illegal, and we will continue to highlight that and in our efforts to break the siege.
Inshallah.
What is happening in this open air prison is wrong. It is illegal, and it must end.
No.
And we will never ever give up.
Inshallah.
In fact, the tide is turning around the globe
Inshallah.
towards Palestine and away from Zionist Israel, and they're really losing the battle because people see evil, people see oppression clearly.
Yes. Yes. All right. So we'll go on a short break. When we return, the program continues. Please stay with us.
يا من صليت بكل الأنبياء، يا من في قلبك رحمة للناس، يا من ألفت قلوبا بالإسلام، يا حبيبي يا شافعي يا رسول الله، بأمي وأبي فديتك سيدي، صلاة وسلام عليك يا نبي، حبيبي يا محمد، أتيت بالسلام والهدى محمد، حبيبي يا محمد، يا رحمة للعالمين يا محمد.
Tune in to Women Radio 91.7 for everything women.
You taught me right from wrong. You told me to give to the poor and hungry. I need you to stay strong. You gave the light that I hold beside me. I feel the love when people call out your name. What would I do without you? I feel so ashamed. You kept smiling, you never did complain. In my heart and soul you will always stay. Muhammad, you, may the peace and blessings be upon you, may be upon you. Muhammad, you.
Look around yourself, can't you see this wonder spread in front of you? The clouds floating by, the sky so clear and blue, planets in their orbits, the moon and the sun, such perfect harmony. Let's start questioning ourselves. Isn't this proof enough for us? Or are we so blind to push it all aside? No, we just have to open our eyes, our hearts and minds. If we just look right, we'll see the signs. We can't keep hiding from the truth and let it take us by surprise. Protect us in the best way, guide us every single day, keep us close to you until the end of time. Look inside yourself, such perfect order, hiding in your cells, running in your veins. What about anger, love and pain, and all the things you're feeling? Can you touch them with your hand? So are they really there? Let's start questioning ourselves. Isn't this proof enough for us? Or are we so blind to push it all aside? No, we just have to open our eyes, our hearts and minds. If we just look right.
I look, I see. I see a world of beauty. I touch, I feel. I feel the world around so real. And everything I do, I dedicate to you. 'Cause you made me, I am for you. I listen, I hear. I hear the words of God so clear. I read, I know. It helps my knowledge grow. And everything we do, we dedicate to you. 'Cause you made us, we are for you. I listen, I hear. He sent the prophet to show us the way. He made religion perfect that day. Peace be upon him we pray. Salatullah wa salamu alayh. I sleep, I dream. I dream I'm in the garden green. I wish, I pray. I pray to be here every day. And everything I do, I dedicate to you. 'Cause you made me, I am for you. I work, I strive to make something of my life. I seek, I find. I find another hill to climb. And everything we do, we dedicate to you. 'Cause you made us.
All right, you're welcome back. You're still listening to Everyday Muslim on Women Radio 91.7 FM. This program is brought to you by the Muslim Public Affairs Center, MPAC, in partnership with Women Radio 91.7 FM. And we are discussing voices from the flotilla, solidarity, activism, and the fight for justice in Palestine. And our guest is Dr. Fatima Hendrick. She is a South African occupational therapist and human rights activist currently based in Cape Town, South Africa. Dr. Hendricks joined the 2025 Global Sumud Flotilla to Gaza, where she was captured by Israeli forces and resisted until her release 6 days later. An advocate of human dignity and decolonial scholarship, she bridges health, education, and Islamic spirituality through her work. With a doctorate in occupational therapy, 3 master's degrees, several diplomas, and over 25 years of global experience, she integrates resilience shaped by surviving Guillain-Barré syndrome and breast cancer into her leadership, teaching, and humanitarian activism. Her last teaching role was as an assistant professor of occupational therapy at Chicago State University in the United States of America. She is the author of Living, Love, and Please Forgive Me. You can be a part of this discourse by calling the number 07000 917 07000 You can also send a message via SMS or WhatsApp to the number 08155 917. Again, this program is Everyday Muslim is brought to you by Muslim Public Affairs Center, MPAC, in partnership with Women Radio. All right, so let me say this. Let me ask now. I know that for those who stand for Palestine, they often face a lot of intimidation, censorship, and reputational risk. In fact, we have this idea of doxing, where people's employment are actually threatened just because of this activism. So, from your own activism, what resources and ethical obligations do you think has sustained you thus far, and what lessons can young African activists draw from your resolve?
That's a really powerful question, because when we speak truth to power, it always comes at high costs.
Absolutely.
And this has been the case since time immemorial. Those that have stood against injustice, against the lies, and against oppression have stood most of the time alone, at great risk to their lives and their livelihoods. And we see this in the great icons who we of struggle in people like Malcolm X, in Martin Luther King, etc. In Nelson Mandela, who was imprisoned for 27 years, and now with Marwan Barghouti, the Palestinian Mandela,
yes.
who's been in prison now for 22 years.
Subhanallah.
The kinds of sacrifices that we're making are relatively small in comparison to the sacrifices that people of Palestine are making just to survive. So everything is always taken from the leadership of the Palestinian people. They are the ones that lead us into a self-determination of what they want. And as people that are standing in loving solidarity with the Palestinian people, we recognize that we are called upon to do what is morally right. It is not a nice to have and a nice to do. So yes, people have lost jobs on the flotilla, lost relationships, lost places to live, being disowned from their families. The cost has been very, very heavy. But the cost of complicity and the cost of being silent in such grave injustice is actually higher. It's higher to society as a whole, because it sickens society even more. And so this has given people around the world to just make voice. And the more people that speak up, the better it becomes in a collective consciousness that grows.
All right. Now, looking at the fact that this activism is something that one must be deliberate about, one must be intentional about. So, now, what practical steps would you recommend that African institutions, faith-based organizations, and concerned citizens take to strengthen their contribution to this Palestinian cause? Because we love what you're doing, and we know quite well that we can actually still do more if people get to know more about this cause. So what advice do you think you can give to Africans and our institutions, including even our government, on what we can do better about this Palestinian cause? Because I know quite well it's not just about Palestinians. It is Palestinians that we're dealing with today. We don't know who it will be tomorrow. Now, Venezuelans are actually being threatened now. So we don't know the next nation. So what advice do you think for us as Africans we can actually, take from this, and we really need to do?
That's really excellent. The people united will never ever be defeated.
Absolutely.
And this is a motto that we've seen all across the globe in all of the struggle movements. And so the more people that we have that are educated and are knowledgeable about Palestine, the basic facts of what happened in 1917 with the Balfour Declaration, what happened in 1948, the Nakbas that have happened. So people really need to educate themselves around the history of Palestine, and then to be able to think about, in my profession as, for example, a healthcare professional, as a business owner, as whatever, as a student, what is it that I can do for the Palestinian cause, for the Palestinian struggle? The first thing is knowledge. The second thing in call to action is looking at the money that we have in our pockets, because there's an app that is called No Thanks, and in this app it will list and does list all of the boycott products. Okay, so the UN Special Rapporteur, Francesca and
Albanese,
she has, in her latest report, which she delivered from South Africa, lists the complicity of large corporations and businesses to the Zionist project, right, of settler colonialism. And so we need to take that seriously. How much of money and what type of brands are we buying that are complicit with either manufactured on stolen Palestinian land or being produced there and exported out? For example, it's Ramadan now. We need to look at the dates. Where are the dates coming from? If there's a bunch of dates that are coming from the Jordan Valley and all these different things, we need to look at what are those dates and not buy them, because they are being relabeled. They are being sent to other third countries, repackaged, and then sent to us. And so we could be eating dates and olives from stolen Palestinian land. The third is educational, cultural boycotts. Okay, and boycotts of health institutions, and making sure that there is that Israel is isolated. It needs to be seen as the pariah state that it is, and we need to raise our voices for that.
All right, thank you very much. And now I know quite well that for some of this, because in fact I can't imagine if a UN rapporteur for human rights, Francesca Albanese, can face the not just discrimination, in fact a whole lot of restrictions, that she can't even have access to her own account, she can't lodge in hotel with her name, she can't travel, with so many things, and including judges of the International Criminal Court. That it shows how deep rooted this this oppression is, just because you are saying the truth, and how the powers that be will come at you just because you are saying that this oppression must stop. So I can understand that. Now, so in moments where powerful nations turn away, as they have continued to do, and global institutions fail the oppressed, what keeps you deeply, committed to activism, and how can organizations like this Muslim Public Affairs Center that we have here in Nigeria reinforce such moral stamina across the world? Because I am seriously enamored by your spirit, still doing this. So I feel like for MPAC, we're looking at, so how can we also come in this regard, so that we make this something that everybody is aware of, and we continue to keep, the light, out there.
Mashallah, it's so powerful, because this is rooted in our faith. The justice and the pursuit of peace, and the pursuit of the protection and preservation of life, of human dignity, of lineage, of wealth and property is grounded in our faith. So we are not doing something out of the ordinary when we are standing up for Palestine. When we are standing up for Palestine, we are also standing up for Al-Quds. We're standing up for our first haram. We're standing up for a place in Jerusalem, in Quds, that was home and that is home to all three of the major religions.
Yes. The Abrahamic faiths.
All of the Abrahamic faiths. And under the rule of the Muslims, there was peace where all three faiths were able to access the religious sites. And we need to push to a return and re-envisioning of that. Now, in terms of the kinds of awareness we need to raise, we need to tackle the Israeli Hasbara. There is a lot
propaganda
of
machine.
A big propaganda machine. And we find that there is a big movement towards Christian Zionism, where Christian Zionists believe that they have to support Israel because their so-called Bible says that. But we have engaged with, in South Africa, with South African Christians
leaders
who are, and Jewish leaders who are part of the Palestinian struggle, okay, who fight this kind of narrative. And if you watch and listen to any of the Palestinian Christian leadership from within Gaza and the West Bank, they speak about their deep hurt that their faith is being used to kill them, to support a state that is killing them.
Absolutely. They spit on Christians there in Jerusalem.
Exactly.
In fact.
And so we need to increase the public awareness, increase the boycott, divestment and sanctions support about what to boycott. We need to look at big relationships the state of Nigeria has with the state of the illegal Zionist regime, and if the embassy is here, we need to call for the closing of the Israeli embassy. We need to really have a strategy of how we can mobilize towards accountability. In South Africa, we have, for example, IOF soldiers that are living in South Africa, South Africans that have fought. And this is against the military assistance. I'm not sure what the case is here in Nigeria of Nigerians fighting in the IOF. But these are some of the touch points that we're looking at. South Africa, unfortunately, is now the highest coal supplier to Israel.
Wow.
The Zionist regime. A country that has taken the ICJ to taken Israel to the ICC.
And still
we see this as still the politicians with their back weight and money money interests exporting coal. So we have to hit this effort in two. One is around truth, and the other is about how money is moves and is used to support the Zionist regime.
All right. So we have just 30 seconds to go.
Okay.
So what message do you have for people out there listening to you now concerning the issue of Palestine, at least as a takeaway from your visits to Nigeria and for your appearance on this program? So your parting shot.
My engagement with Nigerians has been uplifting. Nigerians know oppression, they know truth and justice when they see it. And so this relationship between South Africa and Nigeria and Palestine, as us being part of a broader Pan-African movement, really speaks to our commitment for equality, for justice, and for peace. And so we need to know and remember that each of our individual voices matter. We're never, ever too small to speak up. And together, as more people speak up and more people mobilize, we make a collective movement and build a collective movement that will really turn the tide. And we see this around the world, where the tide is turning towards supporting Palestine and really doing everything we can to force our governments to hold Israel accountable for its gross behavior in violation of human rights.
All right, Jazakumullah khair. I'd like to appreciate Dr. Fatima Hendricks for appearing on this program regardless of the challenges. Well, it's one of those things. And to every listener out there, including those who probably try to send in messages or send in your call, we appreciate you. And this is how far I'll be able to go on to this program. But you can listen to this episode or other previous episodes of Everyday Muslim on Impact mpac-ng.org. Scroll down and click on Empire Project to view Everyday Muslim past uploaded episode. Follow Everyday Muslim on social media, Facebook Everyday Muslim, Instagram Everyday Muslim 0. Inshallah, the program will make its way back to your airwaves next week, same time, 11 a.m., same station, WFM 91.7. Many thanks to the leadership of MPAC and the leadership of Women Radio 91.7 FM who made this possible. I remain Abdul Hakim Qasim. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And thank you so much, MPAC and Women Radio.
Yeah, thank you.
It's life as you know. You reap what you sow. And when you do good, Allah will protect you and stop you falling down. Allah, we surrender, 'cause He knows all, no compromise. Hears your laugh and feels your cry. He is there all the time. Make dua, praise Allah. Our iman will grow. Inshallah, we will go far. There's a long way to go. We pray salat, it's from the heart. Love will keep us whole.